Have you always wanted to be creative but have no idea where to start? In today's video, I'm going to give you 4 tips that will ignite your creativity. Hello lovelies, thank you so much for joining me today. My name's Michelle and I post every fortnight about my creative processes as well as creative motivation like this video is. So if that's your jam, please subscribe to this channel and give this video a thumbs up if you want more creative motivation. One of the things people say to me a lot is, I wish I was creative, and I'm here to tell you that anyone can be creative, but a lot of people have absolutely no idea where to start. So today's video is a really basic 4 tips to get your creative juices flowing. And if you know anyone who has said this to you before, how about you forward them this video and see if you can ignite their creative spark. Before we get started, I'm just going to clarify that when I say creativity, I don't necessarily mean being an artist. I think that creativity is something that everyone should have in their life in some form or another. It doesn't mean that you want to be a visual artist or anything like that, but creativity is just enriches life, and having new hobbies is just a really interesting way of, adding something different to your life. So that's the angle I'm coming from today. And if that moves into becoming professional in that particular field, then so be it, but there's no pressure. Tip number 1, what are you naturally drawn to? Now you will find that some people say, oh, I've always wanted to do that, or they see painting tutorials on YouTube or on Instagram and they think, oh, that looks so fun. Or they see someone sewing and they think, I've always wanted to do that. So that's the most obvious place to start. What have you always wanted to do? Or what do you always see pictures of, videos of, and think, oh, that just looks really exciting. So that's the first place to start. Maybe get your journal out, or if you have a visual diary, get that out and just write a list of all the things that have fascinated you, that you've been drawn to. Number 2 is something that I'm really quite passionate about. Visit your local library. Now, again, this seems like a fairly obvious thing to say, but how many of you are actually visiting your local library regularly? I do all the time. And these days, you can actually get books electronically. You can get audio books as well from the library. And here in Australia, and I'm assuming it's the same all over the world, you can actually put a book on hold that comes from anywhere in your area and they'll ship it over to your local library. So there's no limits really in what you can borrow. And there's even an app on my library that I can just go and search to see if I can find what I'm looking for. So I have borrowed so many books on anatomy and drawing for my practice. So that's a really good way to start. If you don't know what you're looking for, just visiting your local library and wandering through the non-fiction section will be a really interesting way to spark your interest. So that's actually how I got started with textiles. I was looking through the art and craft area of my local library and I came across a Kay Fassett book, and that's what got me started on textiles. If you want to know more about that, you can definitely check out the video of my favorite books, but that's how I discovered Kay Fassett. And then once I had borrowed all of Kay Fassett's books, I ended up buying most of them as well. Then I ended up going to some of his lectures, and then I ended up investigating more and more. So just visiting a library and browsing can really be a good entry point into finding some really fascinating things. If you go in without any expectations and you just have a look at the books that they've got there might be something that jumps out at you. I'm a very big believer in your subconscious and your intuition, and I believe that they will tell you what you need to know. So if you go browsing, I'm pretty sure you will get drawn to just the right area. Number 3 is visit your local art gallery. Now, most cities have an art gallery in the city that's usually run by the government, but of course there are also lots of small galleries around. don't be scared. Just go and wander in and have a look. Even if you're not a visual artist, visiting galleries can be a really great inspiration of other things as well. Like, it might not necessarily inspire you to start painting or drawing or doing tapestry, but it could inspire, you know, creative thought, criticism. It can just make you think more creatively. So visiting your local art gallery is a great idea for getting those creative juices flowing. I will say though, most art galleries these days are very approachable, and if you just walk in, I know it can be intimidating if you've never been to one before, but believe me, it will be worth it. It'll be worth you stepping through the door and getting some inspiration. And the fourth tip that I'm going to share with you today is Google is your friend. Hey, I'm Gen X, we Google everything. If I have a problem with weaving or tapestry, I Google it first. It's the first thing I do. So if you think there might be something you're interested in, you obviously would look it up to see if there's any more information online. But if you have absolutely no idea what you're interested in, this is when you might need to delve a little bit deeper. So for example, if you've always loved fashion, have you ever thought about making or designing your own clothes? And for creative hobbies, by the way, you can check out my other video. I'll put the link up here. But try and look at other things, like, say you're interested in gardening, you can definitely check that out more and see if there's any other ways you can go, like garden design even, or permaculture. If you really love craft beer, you can check out brewing your own beer. There's plenty of places online that can help you with that, and there's plenty of in-person classes as well. So even though Google is a massive, massive beast, and if you have no idea where to start, you might feel overwhelmed, hopefully if you've done steps 1 to 3, by the time you get to Google, hopefully you've narrowed down a little bit more what you're interested in, and that can take you on to finding other groups, classes, videos that you can investigate. Of course, here on YouTube, you can find pretty much anything. So YouTube is itself a search engine. The other thing you can try, and this is not sponsored at all, but everyone talks about Skillshare. I have been a member for a little while, just doing some online classes. They've got lots and lots of classes of any creative topic you can possibly think of. So that's another one to investigate as well. So I hope this video wasn't too confusing or vague or rambling. Apologies if it was, but I really hope you got something out of it. And if you have a spark of what you want to investigate, I would love if you would leave me a comment and let me know, because I'd love to know how you go with it. So for me, creativity is my entire life, but I really do believe that even if you are not a creatively minded person, adding a little bit of creativity in your life can only enhance it. It can only make your life richer. So why not give it a try? If there's anything else you'd like me to talk about, I would love for you to let me know. So leave a comment, and until the next video, bye.